Simon & Schuster Audio presents Black Privilege. Opportunity comes to those who create it. Written and read by Charlemagne the God.
This book is dedicated to the state that made me great, South Carolina. The 843, the 803, and the 864. To every dreamer living on a dirt road somewhere, this book is for you. Let me tell you about the first time I started living my truth. I was 15 years old and living in Moncks Corner, South Carolina. If you're not familiar with Moncks Corner, it's a small town of less than 8,000 people.
It doesn't matter whether you're in media, law, sales, or education.
Most of my teenage
Between
years,
Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever else comes next, all of our minds are cluttered these days. All of us feel overwhelmed by the pace of life, knocked off balance by the never-ending stream of information we read, watch, and listen to every day.
Guerrilla-style pop-up shop, middle of Washington Square Park. Gave away 300 books for free. I've been on the New York Times bestsellers list for 7 weeks in a row. That's the least I can do. Give away free books. Why not? I want everybody to get the information. Shoot to my man Gary Vaynerchuk.
How many reprints?
I don't even know now. I lost count after like 10. They fronted on the culture, man. But the culture will always do what the culture do.
I had a DJ Khaled level of aggravation when it came to like things that I wanted. Like I would always be around. I would always be in, you know, the other radio personality's face. Like I used to have to drive the station vehicle. When you drive the station vehicle, like you'll go with the radio personalities to different events, put up the posters and everything else. Sometimes, man, and I wasn't supposed to do this, but I would take the vehicle home just so no other interns could get it, so they would have to call me, which you weren't supposed to do.
Me, I'm a new fan. Because I think when he was on Wendy Williams, his mouth was a little too much for me. And then it's funny how you perceive people, but then once he got his own show, I started watching more, and I think she would tell me a couple of things. And then I think when he had the conversation with Tommy Lauren, I think is the last name, I never heard him speak so intelligently, and it was just, he just kept, everything he kept saying just resonated with me. So I started just kind of paying attention a bit more, and that was really it. I just had to see him in person.
I mean, everybody in this room, we're just the sum total of our experiences. And I always say that, I got a principle in the book called, you know, there's no losses in life, it's only lessons. That's why I never say you win or lose, you either win or you learn. And every time I got fired, I never look at other people and say, oh, it was their fault. I always try to look at what I did wrong first. I know for a fact the first time I ever got fired, it was all my fault. Because I was just like, I had an ego. I was young, you know, I'm doing radio 20 minutes from my hometown, you know, Moncks Corner, South Carolina. I'm still fresh off the block, and I was just on the radio Monday through Saturday, and I was just taking advantage of the so-called powers.
ESPN2's First Take host, Carrie Champion, and our very special guest, Charlemagne the God.
LA, what's happening? Thank y'all for coming. Really appreciate it.
Anybody from South Carolina? They're right
Oh
there.
shoot, we out there.
What you talking about? We got one. I just like to say that because he's so proud, so we have to do it. So first off, my name is Carrie Champion. I was the host of First Take, his favorite sport. Is that still your favorite show?
No, not no more.
Not no more.
It was at one point.
It was at one point, and he would always, you know, reach out over social. And I was like, I'm not talking to him. I don't like how he talks. I'm not his friend. He was just too much. Y'all know he is a bit much, no? If you don't really know him. And then he ended up being, through a very serious series of events, one of my dearest friends. When did you realize, like, I'm good at radio? I actually can have a career in
When
it.
somebody told me, I talk about it in the book, it was a young lady named Tessa Spencer, and ironically, the morning show they used to do in Charleston was called The Breakfast Club. And she was like the big dog in Charleston, and like I was just on the air one Sunday morning, and she just called me and was like, yo, you sound good. Like, no, really good. Like, you sound like you're a natural at this. And she doesn't even know the battery that put in my back. Like, that just made me feel like, oh man, like I can really do this radio thing. And then, you know, I got a chapter in my book called Fuck Your Dreams. And the reason it's called Fuck Your Dreams, because it's fuck your dreams if they're not your dreams. Because, you know, I still wanted to rap when I first got into radio. And see, a lot of times when you're a young black kid from the hood, the people you see who are successful that look like you are usually in entertainment and athletics. So a lot of us pursue, you know, those two fields But that's not really our dream. We just see it working for somebody else. And I was one of those guys. I saw Ludacris rapping and doing radio, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna do that. Until one of my mentors was like, no, you suck at rapping. You're not gonna do that. What you need to do is focus on radio because you're good at that, but you could be really great if you put the work in.
Tommy Lauren.
Oh, God.
So that's social media,
Yes.
and that's utilized incorrectly.
Yeah.
Explain that.
And in that situation, I learned a valuable lesson, and that is that a lot of conversations should not be had on social media. Like, that was a conversation that should have been had on the radio or on the podcast, because I could have spoke to it better than I did on social media.
By way of background, tell everybody what the situation was and who she is, just in case they're...
Let me count how many black women are here first, see if I can run.
And then you guys can all beat them up afterwards if you want.
But no, I posted that I think it would be dope if a woke woman of color created a platform to control her narrative and become a voice like Tommy Lauren did. I don't want none of my sisters to be like Tommy Lauren. My sisters are brighter and more articulate than Tommy Lauren will ever be. But I was just talking about infrastructure. Like, we need that platform. And I explained that in about 5 or 6 tweets, but don't nobody care about that.
Don't nobody care about tweet 1 or 5.
They don't, no.
2 or 5.
Yeah, tweets 2 to 5, they don't care about it. It's like, I was doing radio in Columbia, South Carolina. The station was owned by Inner City Broadcasting. Inner City Broadcasting also owned the station Wendy Williams worked at in New York, WBLS at the time. And Wendy was syndicated in Columbia, South Carolina. So Wendy would come down to the market to do her show. And you know, me being the type of person I am, I ran up in her on the studio one day and I just wanted to like talk to her because she was, you know, a radio icon. And that's when I was selling mixtapes too, so I was trying to push mixtapes on her, and I had like a parody song I wanted to hear, and Wendy was like, yo, get the fuck out. I'm in the middle of my show, take that mixtape shit to my husband. But I wasn't discouraged, I listened to what she said. Her husband was in the other room, so I took that mixtape shit to her husband. And that's how the connection started. But she invited me to a party in New York, so I went up to the party, and in the party she was like, yo, come on my show the next day. Can't tell me stuff like that. I don't care if we in the party or not. I don't care if we drunk. I'm gonna hold you to that. So that next day, I was hitting her husband up 100 miles per hour. Like, yo, she told me to come on the show. He was like, go to the show. I went up to the show. Was on there for like 25 minutes. And that very next day, that night, her husband was like, yo, she's looking for a co-host, which I didn't even know. And she wanted to be you. And he was like, yo, we can't pay you. We can give you a place to stay. And I was like, I'm out. And how many of y'all would have recognized that opportunity? That's good. Because a lot of people don't recognize opportunity when there's not a paycheck attached to it. Like, that's the thing about life. Like, no matter what situation you're in, the world is gonna keep spinning. So you either gotta choose to like sit down and be sad about it and think the world is gonna stop just because what you was doing stopped, or you gonna keep spinning right along with it. So, you know, I remember having a conversation, and I talked about it in my book. I had a conversation with my homegirl Kendra G. Because every time I get fired from radio, they would say, we're moving in another direction. And I remember Kendra G was like, it's not them moving you in another direction, it's God moving you in another direction.
Let's put your hands together for Charlemagne God.
843, what's happening? Thank y'all for coming out tonight, man. Well, this morning. On a Sunday morning at that.
We could have been in church.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all though.
Title first when I saw it, Black privilege. I know we're all familiar with the term. You know, if you're a black person, you're familiar with the term white privilege. That's, you know, what we're more aware of. But so when someone sees the title of the book, Black privilege, they're probably going to say, especially if they're of a different race, black privilege is, it's one of these Black Lives Matter type book things. But explain why you chose that title.
Because it's simple, man. I feel like it's a privilege to be black. And I feel like when you're talking about, you know, black privilege, you're talking about something spiritual. When you're talking about white privilege, you're talking about something systemic. And I feel like we have the ability to tap into a divine system that gives us powers and abilities to prosper in this country in spite of all the obstacles that have been thrown our way.
Now, in the book, you have the 8 principles.
Yes.
And I can get on board with all of them. You know, one that really, I wouldn't say, well, not because I do it, because I don't, but one really resonated. You gotta put the weed in the bag.
Yes.
And it's so interesting because in the business that we work in, especially now what I do, television, some of the young folks that come up off the streets, they want to come in, boom, 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 ooh, I'm going to be an anchor. So they want to skip all of the hard work. Well, you mean I have to do this? I don't know if I got to do this. You mean I have to do this without getting paid? it's a process.
Yes.
You know?
And that's what it's all about. Like, who in here seen the movie Belly? Yeah, you know, in the movie Belly, when DMX and Nas are sitting at the table and the two young boys are with them and they bagging up the weed, and the young boys are like, man, F this school stuff, man. I want to go out there and get money with y'all. I want to go get money with y'all. And DMX is like, man, put the weed in the bag first, then get money. So that whole concept to me is just about you can't skip the process. I don't care if you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, an architect. You're going to have to go to school. You're going to have to put that work in. As a radio personality, I was an intern, then I worked in the promotions department, then I was a part-time radio personality before I ever got a full-time gig. Like, there's nothing in life that's instant. Not even oatmeal or grits. You still gotta put the water in the pot, all that good stuff. Like, everything has a process.
Have you ever had your feelings hurt? I mean, genuinely hurt.
Can you know?
Yeah, I think more recently than anything. Yeah, more recently. I think it was like when I don't know. It's weird. Like, people will say things like, "I hate black women," because I got spotted with the Tommy Lauren young lady, and I was like, that actually did hurt my feelings. Because when you say I'm hating black women, you're saying I'm hating my mother and my mother, my sisters, my aunts, my wife, my daughter. Like, huh? Where'd that come from? Yeah. So that actually did hurt my feelings.
With a book called Black Privilege, did you automatically get any pushback? What did you think about the book title?
I thought it was, I thought it was fantastic because I'm in graduate school. I'm about to become a teacher, and graduate school has a lot of people in it who are very, I hate the word PC, but they're very uptight. Like, you say one thing and they go, well, have you considered all of the, implications on gender and race and color? And then when I listen to Brilliant Idiots, they talk about it in such a straightforward, respectful way. And so with Black Privilege, the way he explains it makes sense. It's finding the privilege on who you are, regardless of race and color, and be proud of who you are.
The way I got introduced to Charlemagne, it was about 2011. He was, I guess that's around when the Breakfast Club started getting big. So. And I was always just a fan of him since like Wendy. He was doing this thing on there. He was real funny since like the whole who was that? Buffy the Body thing. So when that started, I thought he was always funny.
Best-selling author Charlemagne.
I strive to be open and honest about everything. Like that, I can't hide anything. Like even with the skin thing, it's like if you see me and you can clearly tell that my skin ain't discolored no more and it's brighter, I gotta have that conversation. I don't gotta have a conversation. I gotta bring Dr. Sandy on the radio to let y'all know what I've been doing because especially for us, we live our lives in front of the cameras all of the time. So I would just rather tell you what's going on in my world as opposed to somebody taking it and trying to use it against me. The example I give in the book is with that whole "can I get a drop" situation. Like when the dude tried to jump me in front of the station with the cameras. It's like, I know somebody was trying to use that to embarrass me. That would have worked if I hadn't ran from the street into the building, right to the studio, right on the microphone to talk about those dudes trying to jump me. And I didn't exaggerate the story.
That t-shirt was more embarrassing than you getting punched in the head. That was a big
t-shirt.
Yeah.
Would be nice. I think that's part of it. What Charlemagne talks about is about creating opportunities for ourselves. Right. And so, like, for example, like everyone has their story, and I think a lot of us do. And me personally, like I was the first one to graduate college in my family, and amen for that. And then ended up going to law school, and I moved out of my parents' house really young and made it through that while working at Chick-fil-A, which I know Charlemagne loves, and worked there for 8 years, going through college and then through law school and whatnot. And similarly, my brother, my older brother, he's now an investment banker, and when he was going through, he went to an HBCU, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're never going to make it." And now he's the only one from his school to make it on Wall Street, but he's there, and so it's just about grinding it out.
So Black Privilege, do you buy into the concept?
Yeah. You know what? I think as Black people, we have always known that we've had a privilege, like to ourselves. But just as time has gone on, I think we've lost it. You know what I mean? Not lost it, but just not taking advantage of it. And I think it's great that Charlemagne is writing a book to kind of bring that back to where we were, to when we realized that we had a privilege and we acted on it.
For everybody, I'm sure all of y'all live out here in the LA area. Where I'm from is the exact opposite of that. Okay, there's nothing sexy about it. It's a small town population, like 8,000. It's dirt roads. You know, if you saw like roadkill on the side of the road, my father would always say, put your hand on it. If it's cold, you leave it there. If it's warm, it's dinner. So that's the type of town it is.
I want to talk about spirituality. Because a lot of it comes from the book, and maybe people don't know you and they only see the clips online. They think this can't be a guy that has Jesus, God, spirituality inside of him. But as you read the book, there's a lot of that comes through. So talk about, where is your line?
I mean, like my grandmother was a Baptist, my mother was a Jehovah's Witness, my father was a witness for a while, but then he started studying Islam, and like all I ever knew was a spiritual foundation. Like I was praying over all my meals, praying before I went to bed, you know, praying for like just divine direction, praying for divine protection. Like I never knew anything but God. Maybe it's a sovereign thing or something, I don't know. Like, but I never felt any other way about spirituality other than I know that it's a higher power and I have to submit my will to him.
When I was reading your book, I was reading the story, and something that really struck me. You were talking about one of your friends, and I think he was running guns. And blue lights hit him from the back. And he's like, he actually pulls his out.
His gun.
His gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, man, put his dick out on the cop like.
So he pulls his gun. And he says the cop did not pull him over, instead he went around him, and he said God was blessing him.
Praying to God. And I'm like, no, somebody was praying for the cop. God was not thinking about you in that situation.
All right, enough respect, Charlemagne. My name is Kevin, aka Blind Visionary. I'm officially from Kingston, Jamaica, but kind of transplanted here to LA to pursue my dreams. And during that...
What's up, brethren?
Enough respect. I lost my eyesight. But ironically, the name of your book is Black Privilege. And all I see right now is blackness. And I decided, as opposed to being a victim because I'm blind, I'm going to turn my blindness, which is seeing blackness, into my privilege. So that's my way of making my opportunity out of a very horrible situation by trying to educate people, inspire people, and entertain people, because I think that's a very important combination in terms of the growth of humanity. And you've always spoke your mind and kept it 100. And, you know, listening to you on Brilliant Idiots and Breakfast Club has kept me sane through this very difficult process. So I wanted to say thank you for that.
Well, I've been a fan of Charlemagne a long time. Back when he was on Wendy Williams on VH1, I was watching him back then. So to see the growth and the progression to where he is now, man, I can't help but support the man. You know, the glow up's real, man. The thing with Black Privilege, I think it's more about it's about confidence, and it's about a self-belief too. Like, it's hard for black people out here. We already know that. So instead of dwelling on that and letting that be a crutch, like, I mean, I got hands, I got feet, you know, opportunity, that's all it really takes. So I think it's more of a self-belief, believe in yourself, and make it happen.
Let's start from this side. Miami is lit. Miami is really repping. Video was the one thing that I've done that I've actually, I guess, been good at and saw some progress happen in my life because of it. So I just didn't have a plan B. Like, there's nothing else I wanted to do, you know? And as long as there was other radio stations out there, I feel like I was gonna find me another gig. And that's, honestly, you realize that's just how the game of radio is. Like, you're going to get fired in the game of radio until you find a place to where you make your mark. And that's what happened.
When I got let go, somebody said, "Welcome to the game."
Welcome to the game. How many times you been fired, Jay?
Just one time.
Oh, man.
My name is Donovan Watkins. I'm from Jamaica. Just got here to Charlemagne the God's book signing, book interaction party. I'm so inspired, man. Black privilege. So in Jamaica, we have a class system. It's just like racism because it functions off access and money. Racism functions because somebody has the means to stop another people from moving just off the color of the skin. Classism is the same thing, and it happens where people stop other people because of where they came from. So if you're from the inner city, if you don't have an address that is uptown, you don't have certain access. If you didn't go to a particular school, you're not a part of a club of people, they try to deny you access, regardless if you upgrade yourself through art, music, dance, drama, athletics.
I've been following Charlemagne the God for a couple of years now, and the reason why I love him is because he's real, and we don't have that in the Hispanic community. That's one thing we need, because we like to hide because we're too politically correct. We're scared about what people are going to say, what they're, you know, the backlash. That's why I love Charlemagne, because he can sit there and just tell you straight up, even though he's a dickhead sometimes, you got to take it. You got to take it, whether you like it or not. That's why I'm here. I came from Phoenix, Arizona. I got a competition tomorrow, and I stopped about an hour-and-a-half drive. Brought my book that I flew in with, so I didn't buy it here. So I'm a fan, and I'm here to get it signed. Okay, so you know, quick background. Mom, I was a crack baby. Mom gave me up. Grandma took me in. Came from the projects in LA, moved to Phoenix, joined the military, did 10 years. Now I'm out trying to figure out life, and the best thing is you live your truth, because we're trying to please people 24/7. We're trying to get accepted, and and we're scared to actually live our truth, like Charlemagne said. So I live mine.
Man, Charlemagne, it was just a really, really great book, man. I appreciate everything that you do for like the hip hop culture. I ride for you, man. I support you. So, man, just keep on doing your thing. Keep up with the podcast on the Brilliant Idiots. Like, just keep on doing your thing, man. We love you out here, man. Straight up.
I came out here to hear, you know, just hear from Charlemagne after reading the book. It was really cool.
Let me see the book. Put it up.
Really inspiring and everything. I can completely identify with being from a small town, so I really enjoyed the words of wisdom and the inspirations that he put in the book. I'd really like to know, because I heard an interview that he did, well, he did the Donkey of the Day with Jason Whitlock and talking about racism and everything. What are some of the things that we can do as a people, or people of color, to try to like begin a conversation about race to people who are really closed-minded and not really like kind of not receptive that race is an issue in our country?
Did you get to read the book yet at all? And what do you think about it?
I read the entire book, and I'm a big fan of like self-help books. And I just love the fact that Charlemagne just keeps it real. You know, I loved him from when he was on the Wendy Williams show to him now being on the Breakfast Club, and it's exactly like the radio. You know, he talks about his upbringing, he talks about his trials and tribulations through radio and where he is now. He also talks about his family life, which is something that we don't normally get to hear on the radio. So I really enjoyed it.
Like to me, books are campaigns, you know? Nobody got to buy no book. You know how much time and effort it takes to go out there and buy a book and to like flip through pages? Like you got to literally flip through pages, like to read, like to sit down and just turn your phone off, turn off your television, you know, and just really, you know, and engulf yourself in a book. That's a hell of a, it takes a lot of time and effort to do that. So I just feel like the least I can do is go out there and shake the hands of the people and like just build with them. You know how powerful those words are? You changed my life, like, and when they say that to me, I understand it. And the reason I understand it is because I understand the transformative power of books. And since I understand the transformative power of books, I know what the autobiography of Malcolm X did for me. You know, I know what Message to the Black Man by Elijah Muhammad did for me. You know, I know what From Niggas to Gods by Akil did for me. I know what Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukov did for me. Like, I understand, you know, how people's stories can help you change and help you grow and help you evolve. So when they come to me and tell me that, I'm just like, damn. Because all I'm doing is telling my story. And, you know, that's what life is about. That's what experience is about. Like, when you get to a certain age or a certain level, like when you have certain experiences and you sharing with other people, you're sharing those experiences because you want other people to learn from them. You want other people to grow from them. So it's just like when you get that reaction from people, it's like, damn, I set out, I did what I set out to do. Truth to the matter is, man, nobody's gonna help you. You know, nobody's gonna help you if you're not helping yourself. You know, like nobody can wave a magic wand and magically change your situation and make everything the way that you want it to be. Like, you know, that's a process that you have to go through. Really, only you control that. So it's like for me, man, when you have a conversation with me, the only thing I would ask people to do is don't look for anything. You know, try to get some information. That's what I'll do when I sit down with people. You know, when I sit down with people that I admire, I just want to get some information. I'm not looking for anything. I'm not looking for them to want to do a deal with me. I'm not looking for them to sign me, cut me a check, nothing. I'm just happy to be in that room, in that space, having a conversation, getting some information. Because I'm just going to take that and apply it to my situation.
Dallas was one of the first stops when I told you that I'll be going to every location. At that point, did you think it was true?
honestly, I was like, why? Because it's not like it's a concert. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen people do that with concerts. They travel, follow the artist from city to city to go perform, you know. And then when I just got wind of what you was doing, you know, recording, I honestly thought that was dope. And that goes back to the subtitle of my book, Opportunity Comes to Those Who Create It. Like, you know, I remember I told Paige, like, yo, we gotta hire that guy. This guy came to every book stop just to film. And I mean, for me, I think that's dope that somebody fucks with me like that. But the fact that you think something that I'm doing is worth your time and your effort and your energy to come out there and document it, and not only document it, but actually want to turn it into some type of piece of art that could stand the test of time. Like, I mean, that's dope to me. You know what I mean? That means a lot to me. So I don't take that kind of support for granted. You know, that's why I got you here now. Like, yo, you want to do it, let's do it right. Let's do it all the way right. You know, so I just respect that kind of hustle. Like, that goes back also to what you said about people coming up to me and asking for stuff, waiting for me to wave some type of magic wand and make certain shit happen. Like, that's not the way none of this works. You know what I mean? The way it works is the way it's like how you did. You know, like, that's how you create your own opportunity. Help yourself. And then when I see you helping yourself, I'm like, damn, let me assist this brother, because I see him out here moving. So let me help him. Let me see if I can uplift him some more.
This book is dedicated to the state that made me great, South Carolina. The 843, the 803, and the 864. To every dreamer living on a dirt road somewhere, this book is for you. In my story, may you find the inspiration to create your own greatness.